Hi, I'm Brendan. Welcome to Walking My Dog with Me, part 2. This is Willoughby. Just peeing. Thank you so much for being here. So one of the things I want to talk to you guys about today is the holiday season. Now, we see it everywhere. They start playing holiday music in like fucking October now. It's only a matter of time. It's before the 4th of July is over and you're just blasting Christmas carols. And I think a lot of it's really magical, for sure. You know, we see it in our shopping, our movies, our music, it's everywhere. But I think what ends up happening sometimes during the holiday season is that people often feel like, because their whole culture is like, hey, this is a time to be with loved ones, friends, family, significant others, that if you don't have that, you feel left out, or you feel like something's kind of wrong with you. And I think it's part of the reason why so many people feel disconnected and actually the shittiest during the holidays, because all of the culture, everything around you is telling you that, hey, you should be feeling this way, you should be married, you should be in love, you should have family and friends, and you should just be like surrounded by chestnuts and Santa's there for some reason. Everybody's white. But what I think is important to always realize is that all that stuff that is existing is outside of you, and it's always a projection and not the full story of what's going on. I mean, we've all been to holiday parties. We've all seen and been in relationships. We all know what it's like to sit at a dinner table with 20 family members that you barely know. And listen, I'm not saying that that's not great and can't be great. And actually super meaningful. Community, I think, is everything. But what I think is really important is to not confuse the projections of reality that we're getting from culture with the reality of what really goes on in day-to-day life. Like, for example, Hallmark movies. Like, my ex-girlfriend wrote a Hallmark movie, and I went to go watch it, and it was she had a party. And it was awesome, but it was also so stereotypical, and she was even laughing at it. Literally, she named a character Mr. Cardigan, and they let her keep it. But it's like, you know, it's like small town story. It's always a small town lawyer and a big city doctor. It's always so funny. I just want one Hallmark movie to be like, she's a big city lawyer, he's a small town heroin addict. When Harry met heroin. But like watching that, it's easy to get caught up in what you see when you leave, even though it is so stereotypical, because what we ingest and what we see always matters so much, because it just recreates our reality through ourselves. So we watch something and we say, as stupid as this is, there's a part of us that really believes in this magic. And I believe in that magic too. But I believe in the magic in the sense that you can cultivate it yourself, always, in a way that I don't think is ever really expressed in our culture. Let me give you guys like more of a tactical example, right? So you see a Hallmark movie, you're like, oh, this is super romantic. They're in Maine, in a small town in Maine. You're like, why don't I have this? Then if you were to go to that small town in Maine, you would be like, hey, this town kind of sucks. The one local, nobody's hot here. Like, there's always one or two extremely hot people in the Hallmark movies. I'm like, you ever been to a small town in Maine? Everybody has like 4 teeth and one big puffer coat. So what am I saying? I'm saying that, for example, okay, so when you go to a holiday party and it's your family, right? I've been in holiday parties where it's like 20 of us getting together, be like, okay, great. We're going to celebrate and appreciate each other's company and love each other. And then we'll just sit around on our phones, not talking to each other, or watch a movie about people celebrating and loving each other instead of engaging with the people in front of you. So one thing that has really helped me with reality and living is that deep down, everybody is going through some shit. And it's never as crystal clear or bright or as easy as pop culture presents it. And that's good. When I saw Jen Sincero, the author of You Are a Badass, speak, she said the number one question she's getting from everybody is, how do I deal with imposter syndrome? Because everybody feels kind of like an imposter. And the question, to me, the solution is like, isn't, oh, don't feel like an imposter. The solution is realizing that this is all part of the human experience. So what's part of the human experience is sometimes some messiness, sometimes some loneliness, sometimes things not meeting your expectation at a level that's brought to you by culture. So that's another, I think, super huge part of this is like, I think we end up sometimes feeling even lonelier during the holidays because there's such an expectation to have this perfect life, to have a perfect kids, to have perfect family and friends. And this is true for everything in life. And then when you don't meet it, it feels empty and shitty. But what I'm saying is like, change the expectation, not that you can't have those things, but to know that like those expectations aren't really real. But the magic that you can have and you want right now can exist in any given moment, literally right now. You can go find magic and happiness in a stranger. You could go volunteer somewhere and change somebody's life. Like, you could go on a hike by yourself to the top of a mountain right now and experience more magic than you ever could at a family party. And again, not that those things aren't bad or possible, because that's also super fun and great. But just know like the magic is always there within you, and it doesn't have to be manufactured from outside of the culture. And these stories that they're also often telling us are so whitewashed and fragmented, because I think we do want to escape, and I think that's awesome. But just know that like, and I'm speaking from experience because I've certainly felt lonely, or like, shouldn't there be more during the holidays? Like, what is this like emptiness I'm experiencing? But just know that like, no matter what, under any circumstance, there's never a moment in your life when you can't experience that kind of magic for any reason, under any circumstance, no matter what. It doesn't matter if it's Christmas, doesn't matter if it's Thanksgiving, pulling my dog, let's go, or Halloween, or fucking 4th of July. You can experience so much magic all the time. And what makes it even more amazing is that you're cultivating it, you're doing it. You're not having a culture tell you to do it. You're not saying like, oh, I'm supposed to have these things, why am I not happy? You're happy because you decided to make the choice to appreciate everything in your life now. And it's nothing that's outside of you. So that's my take on the holidays. I want everyone to have the best time ever. Polar Express rules. That's my kind of shit. A dark movie with 9 Tom Hanks and hot chocolate, get out of here. So yeah, I hope everyone has the best holidays, but also know that like, you're not alone, and that if you feel alone, know that there are thousands of people out there that would want to support you and be with you. And sometimes it takes, because this is from experience with me too, it takes getting out of your shell and going to make an effort to go see people. But your people exist, I promise. And even if you're like, my friends and family aren't my people, well, hopefully your friends are. That's okay too. All right, you're the best. Have a great Wednesday.